Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the special City Council meeting of Thursday, December 5th, 2024. I now call the meeting to order. Now, you can remain seated, and tonight we have Brendan Ford, who's a Costa Mesa resident and Costa Mesa business owner, to perform a beautiful rendition of America the Beautiful. Brendan, you have the floor.
Thank you. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. From sea to shining sea.
Brendan Ford, ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Ford. Thank you, Brendan, so much. Now, please join me in standing for the national anthem. And tonight, we have Kara Wondercheck, who's going to be singing the national anthem, and remain standing, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance together.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job, Kara. Let's say the pledge together. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So what I didn't say earlier is that Kara, who sang beautifully, thank you again, Kara, and thank you, Brendan, again, Kara is the daughter of Deborah Wondercheck, who is the chair of our Arts Commission. So Deborah, let's hear it for Deborah. Thank you for being here. Okay, now it's time for our moment of solemn expression, and we have a very special person in the Costa Mesa community, and he comes here often to do our moment of solemn expression, but he's been a very important part of our shelter and our program, and I'm really pleased to give the floor to Pastor Phil Eiskens from Lighthouse Church. Phil, I gave you the floor, but now I got to give you the mic.
Yeah, I got to have PA. Man, I got to have PA. So I always get encouraged when I come here and I hear the patriotic songs and I see "In God We Trust." I've prayed a couple of times in Newport Beach. They don't say "In God We Trust" on their city council chambers, so I commend that. I want to congratulate Mayor Stevens and the other council members for their reelection and that stuff. And I got to say, I see Katrina Foley here. And we and John Stevens, we go way back because several years ago, this city council unanimously approved the bridge shelter to be at my little location at 1885 Anaheim, the Church of the Nazarene. And Mayor Stevens was good enough to attend our 75th anniversary a couple of months ago, that the Church of the Nazarene has been on that corner for 75 years. And still bringing hope, and that little church means a lot. And through the city council, Katrina Foley, John Stevens, we made a decision a long time ago. And it was a little bit of a struggle, but we did it. Amen. And I'm so glad that I was part of that, this little pastor here in a little old church. But I just thank God for being able to be part of this city council, part of the city of Costa Mesa. And I could say more. I see this attorney. She was involved in that little discussion a long time ago, too. And I sat with Mayor Stevens in his office, and he said, "What can we do to make this happen?" And we talked, we shook hands, and it happened. Amen? So I thank God for that. Tonight, I want to do something a little bit different. I thought, in keeping with the elections, not only here, but also in the national elections, that I would read a prayer that was said by Thomas Jefferson, our third president. He prayed this prayer in 1805 at a peace event, national peace event. So if you could bow your heads and just realize that this was prayed over 200 years ago, and I think it applies to local governments, and it also applies to this great nation of ours, the United States of America. And I hope that people are just as thankful to be part of this nation than any other nation on earth. This type of stuff. So, Almighty God, who has given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly come before you, that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of your favor and glad to do your will. Bless our land with honorable ministry, sound learning, and good manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties and fashion into one united people, the multitude brought together out of many kindreds and tongues. Endow with your spirit of wisdom those whom your name we entrust the authority of government, that there may be justice and peace at home, and that through obedience to your law we may show forth your praise among the nations of the earth. In time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness. And in the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in you to fail. All of which we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. And everybody said, amen. Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, would you please do the roll call?
Mr. Mayor, the record will reflect that all council is present except for Councilmember Reynolds.
Thank you very much. So tonight, we have some presentations. The first is recognition of council members Donald Harper, which is District 1, and Mayor Pro Tem Jeffrey Harlan, District 6. And to start that off, I want to recognize and give the floor to our city manager, Lori Ann Farrell Harrison. Ms. Farrell Harrison, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So glad to have everybody here tonight for the festivities and also to bid farewell to two of our esteemed council members here. First, I wanted to acknowledge the presence of a couple of dignitaries. We have Assemblymember Kadi Petrie Norris here. We also have former mayor, former school board trustee, County Supervisor Katrina Foley. So my role here tonight is to, on behalf of the entire city of Costa Mesa and on behalf of the leadership team, all of the employees, our council, to talk a little bit about our outgoing two council members and their 4 years of dedicated service to the city of Costa Mesa, their work on the city council, and to wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors. As I thought about my remarks today, I thought back to December 2020, which is just 4 years ago, but it's just a world of difference from where we are today. It was just 9 months into the COVID-19 pandemic. They talk about wartime generals and presidents, but there are elected officials that also come into office during unprecedented times. And they came in of December of 2020. There were 20 million cases of COVID in the United States that had happened over just the course of 9 months. Costa Mesa was right at the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic because of the desire of the federal government to bring individuals to Costa Mesa, to Fairview Developmental Center, and we had to challenge those efforts. The prior council led those efforts until there was actually plans in place, a national emergency declared. And so this was just 9 months after the start of the pandemic. We weren't able to have a reception at that time the way we did this evening. The vaccines had just come out. It was a totally unprecedented time, and they rose to the occasion. They started their work during just a worldwide crisis and pandemic, also an enormous global recession and economic challenges. We were in the midst of a $20 million deficit as well, and how far we have come since then. And a lot of it is due to your efforts. Costa Mesa is stronger and better because of the work of this council, including Mayor Pro Tem Harlan and Councilmember Harper. We're just so thankful for the opportunity to have worked with you. Being a council member is often a thankless job. Council members are attending so many city council meetings. During that time, we had an unprecedented number, one special meeting after another. A special meeting can get called within 24 hours if there's a major crisis or an incident. They had to address shutdowns of businesses. They had to address getting vaccines out to the public once vaccines were available, doing testing, having information go out in multiple languages, things that the city had never had to deal with before. And this council and these two council members rose to that challenge. So many town halls, community outreach events. And then on a positive note, you attend groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, and have to deal with so many complicated issues, those that are life-threatening and those that are just day-to-day. The scope of the work that you have to do as a council member, a lot of people may not realize, but it's incredible. So much of the work that you do is important to the lives of so many people, not just in Costa Mesa, but to the region, to Orange County. We are leaders. We are known to lead in certain areas, and so a lot of our peers in Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, they're looking to the work of this council and some of the work that you've done, and all for relatively small compensation in the grand scheme of things. And this is in addition to your very extensive day jobs. And so Mayor Pro Tem Harlan is an attorney by trade and has a very demanding position and job. And of course, Councilmember Harper as well is a CEO of a business and brings that experience to bear. And so we're so thankful for your accomplishments, your dedication, in addition to your family life, your business life. This is a part-time job, but it doesn't feel like it. I'm sure at times it has felt overwhelming. We try our best as staff to give you the information that you need to make good decisions, and sometimes we hit the mark, and sometimes you ask for more, and we grow from all of those conversations, and we're really thankful for them. But we're so proud of your accomplishments, which are many. And so I just wanted to share just a couple of accomplishments. From staff's perspective, I know I won't do it justice, but I did want you to know how thankful we are and how thankful our residents should be for the work that you've done. I'll begin with Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Harlan. You've been instrumental on so many different city issues. Again, you have a demanding job as an attorney in addition to helping raise your family. On behalf of the city, we thank you for your service. You've served as one of our leading council members on a number of issues, too many to name, but housing issues, including our housing element, which is an important part of what we do as a city, and complying with state rules and regulations around making sure that we have enough housing for our residents. You provided much needed insight for the staff and the council on the strongest path to meet the city's complex housing needs. Your prior experience as a planning commissioner has been brought to bear, and as such, your participation in these conversations and in these efforts has been outstanding. You were instrumental in the inclusionary housing ordinance and making sure that it was a good balance of making sure that we have affordable housing, but making it competitive enough for developers to participate. Our conversations with the state regarding Fairview Developmental Center, our Project Home Key projects, where we can turn motels into permanent supportive housing so that we can actually have a continuum of care for individuals that are homeless. They can actually get housing, we can get people off the street and get them back into productive lives. You participate in the economic development efforts, going to the International Conference Shopping Center, shopping centers conference that happens where we get to promote Costa Mesa as a destination for major retailers, for major restaurant chains, businesses such as Shake Shack in your district that we met in those settings and in those conferences. You work with our business partners and developers to help streamline the permitting processes in the Development Services Department, which we're still striving to do better and better all the time and making things easier for those who want to do business in Costa Mesa. And you've been a champion for District 6 in maintaining and upgrading park amenities, ensuring these projects made it into our capital improvement budget and secured funding for those projects, as well as an agreement with Newport Mesa Unified School Districts that we can continue to use school fields, such as the fields at Harper Park, for residents and families. These are just a small smattering of your accomplishments, Mayor Pro Tem Harlan. We know that you've been so dedicated over the past 4 years. You've done an extraordinary amount of work. You take the work that we do very seriously. You have been instrumental in giving us feedback in areas where we needed to improve and enhance our work. And as a token of our appreciation, we'd like to present you this evening with a city sign. It's called Harlan Drive. Since you drove us to do many new things, and as well as a city tile, which is one of the coveted symbols of committed city leadership, which we give to all of our esteemed employees and when they retire. And so as you're retiring from us, just wanted to present you as well with the city tile. And so Mayor Pro Tem Harlan, just on behalf of all of us, it's been a great pleasure working with you. Thank you for challenging us to be the best version of ourselves. And we wish you good luck in all of your endeavors.
Is there a photo op involved here? I mean,
I think when you
we're gonna do
present
that?
the key.
We'll do the photo op?
Yes.
And then everybody will take, with all of their goodies, we all
all
take
the
the photos?
goodies.
Good, got it. All right, good stuff. Okay,
And I will do now Councilmember Harper, and then we can turn over to the mayor. So Councilmember Harper, much like the comments that I made about all of the great work that the council has done, you have offered some unique insights to us as staff as well, the entire city team, and we owe you a debt of gratitude for your contributions, including being a former Parks Commissioner. Your financial acumen in particular, your attention to detail, and your private sector experience has really led for the city team to think in different ways than we're accustomed to dealing with things, being government employees and being a much more bureaucratic system. I know that at times that was very frustrating for you because we are bureaucratic, there's a lot of red tape in government, lots of regulations, lots of steps to go through. But you challenge us to be the best version of ourselves. Streamline things, include performance metrics that made sense. All the departments have come up with new performance metrics because of your encouragement and the encouragement of this council to think about things differently, to have KPIs, which is a private sector concept, again, to be the best versions of ourselves. You participated in our Finance and Pension Advisory Committee early on. You gave feedback about the level of financial reporting that we should be doing to ensure greater due diligence and record keeping of the city's records and transparency. Your early encouragement as well and identification of the flock camera system, which started in District 1, and then actually you recommended that we take a look at it, led to the police department working with the finance team and myself to launch cameras all along the city's major corridors. which has helped to deter crime and has led to the apprehension of criminals, but more importantly, the recovery of millions of dollars of stolen vehicles by our outstanding police department. And so sometimes people think that voting doesn't count or elections don't matter or who's elected. And this is just an example, as I talk about these two incredible council members, is the impact that just one person can make in our daily lives and how just how influential and instrumental it can be. Your understanding of the need for market compensation for our employees, just being a business owner and understanding the competitiveness of the market for good talent. We are a service providing entity, and so we need employees to be paid at a competitive rate. They don't need to be paid the most, but they need to be paid at least a market rate so that we're not a constant training ground for other cities. We've been able to retain staff and really build our ranks, and you've been instrumental in making sure that that happens. As I mentioned, you do this in addition to your job as CEO of your company and keeping up with your family life. You've provided so many insights to us and have been instrumental in helping us do and be better, and on a personal level, honing my debate skills. And so thank you again for all of your great contributions and your work with the city. And so as a token of our appreciation, we are presenting you with a city sign as well for Harper Way, for showing us the better way to do things. And then also a city sign, the city tile. We have a video as well, Mayor, but if you'd like to make
No,
your
we have a
comments
video.
now. The video? Okay.
Let's run the video. You know, Costa Mesa TV is an award-winning, so let's see the video. Let's go. There we are.
I like to think about things. I'm a pretty measured person. I think most people would say I'm a very practical person.
I always have a sense of trying to help people, and that's really who I am.
Thank you for the people that come out and comment. That's the thing I appreciate probably the most about these meetings.
I'm especially grateful to be the first representative for the East Side. I've lived here for 15 years, and I take a great deal of responsibility for making sure that we thrive.
Keeping that neighborhood feel, community feel, and the diversity it's always offered.
There are many voices in Costa Mesa.
And many values we hold dear.
And together,
These are the threads that complete the tapestry.
That is Costa Mesa.
All right. Costa Mesa TV comes through again. Good job, everybody. So thank you very much, City Manager Farrell Harrison. And yeah, I have a few words, and I'm going to, it says a plaque, but it's actually the key to the city. And it's only my third and fourth key to the city that I've ever given. Yeah. Trivia is the other two, the first two were to Byron D'Ericle. And does anybody know who the other one was? April Ross, right? So you have to be either a chairman of a planning commission, a gold medalist, or these two. So these two council members who we're saying goodbye to are both very important members of the community. You know, whenever you step up and you put your name on the ballot, whether you win or whether you lose, it's a patriotic act. It's something that demands our respect. And so we went through an election, and so it's these two council members have served very admirably. From my personal point of view, Councilmember Harper and I, we were parents at St. John the Baptist years ago. And we are both Mesa Verde residents. He's been my council member for the last 4 years. I live in District 1. And again, more trivia. Did you know that Costa Mesa, before it was Costa Mesa, was Harper? So no relation, I'm sure, but it's something interesting. So then I think we're going to do the video. So I don't even have the plaque, but you have it? Okay, thank you. So like I said, here it is. This is for Councilmember Don Harper, and it's the key to the city. And I can assure everybody here, we will not be changing the locks. Key to the city, Don Harper. As for Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Harlan, District 6, East Sider, the ultimate East Sider, I mean, I think, and one of my very best friends. And so it's sad for me to give this to you. You know, I don't know how I'm going to make it through without Jeff. He's great. And I don't want to say too much more. He's, like I said, one of the best friends and very important to my mental health. And I'll try to make it through the next 2 years. And I'm still going to call him when I need him, and he's always there for me. All right. Now, speaking of my very best friends, next up is Councilman. Sorry, What's that? No. Let's do, because we're all going to come. So here's what we're going to do. I think of the photo is we're all going to come down when Katrina gives her presentation. So at that time, we'll all be down and we'll all take various photos. Why don't we do it after Kati? We'll do it all at once. Okay. So you guys say your words. Then we'll do a bunch of different photo ops, and then we'll move on to our the next part, which is public comment. Okay, so without further ado, another one of my dearest friends is Katrina Foley, former mayor, as former school board member, but most importantly now our supervisor from the fabulous 5th District. Give it up for Katrina Foley.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Katrina Foley, County Supervisor, representing the 5th District, Costa Mesa, where I live, all the way to San Clemente. But tonight, we're here to thank those who've served us for the last 4 years and longer, for those of you who've been on different commissions and committees at the city, and then welcome the new council members and welcome return for our mayor. But I just wanted to take a moment to say a few words about each of you, and I have a token of our appreciation from the county to thank you for your service. We didn't get to know each other too well, Mr. Harper, but thank you. You know, it's a challenging thing to serve in a community. You can't go to the grocery store or the coffee shop without having somebody ask you about a pothole or a crack in a sidewalk, a tree lifting, anything. And so it's something that people don't really appreciate until they're in it, and it affects your family. So thank you for sacrificing. Thank you for giving your time and your insights and your knowledge for our community to make it better. So thank you. Additionally, Mayor Pro Tem Harlan, we have known each other for so long, and going back all the way to the Blue Ribbon Bike Trail Committee for the Santa Ana River Trail. Gosh, that feels like a lifetime ago. And always thoughtful, always trying to improve the quality of the community, making sure that people are listened to. I know you had a passion project for the park on the east side, and I'm hoping that you'll keep your voice in that and that will come to fruition. And I just want to thank you for your knowledge that you brought to the council. I know the mayor always calls you the wise one, but we truly appreciate your work, and I'll miss you here on the council and working with you in my capacity as a supervisor. But thank you again, and thank you for supporting sustainable practices and supporting our police and fire and making sure we have more officers and fire and rescue service providers so that our community stays safe. Thank you both, and I'm not sure, Mr. Mayor, how you want to actually handle it. Do you want me to give the plaques later?
No, yes, so now if you're done speaking, then Cotty could speak. Then we're all going to take photographs.
Right, got it, but am I speaking
You could
to the new council members?
You could speak to the new council
Got
members.
it, okay.
Well, wait, yeah, speak now if you want to speak about the new council members. This is the one and only time you have the floor to speak.
Okay,
But
well, very good. I'll take advantage of it. I appreciate the courtesy. So we have also returning to our city council, Lauren Gameros, who nobody ever gets a pass, and 2 council members sitting up here got a pass. Lucky for you. You didn't have to work as hard this cycle, so you could continue doing good work for the community. Thank you for caring about the community. Thank you for caring about workers and making sure that the youth of our community have apprentice programs and they have a place to, a path in case they don't want to go to college, and they can still have a good job and do well and provide for their families. And so thank you for always taking our calls. Thank you for taking the community's calls and finding solutions for their concerns. So I have a certificate for you, and for Mr. Bewley, Honorable Mike Bewley, elected to the, where are you? Raise your hand. Oh, here we are. Elected to District 1 to replace Councilmember Harper. I look forward to working with you. We had a chance to chat just in the reception, and I'm here to serve. I'm always here to help the city council members find solutions for the causes that they care about, the initiatives. So I hope that we can get together for coffee and talk about what are your priorities and how can I help. Same with Mr. Pettis, council member elect for the District 6, the East Side, and a veteran, and somebody who I really look forward to working with in that capacity. And for anybody who knows and has been following, I'm a very strong advocate for helping to house our veterans in our community and to provide the supports for the gaps and services for our veterans. So I look forward to working with you. I already have some ideas for you about the East Side. I know I've talked to Councilmember Harlan about them for a long time. So I look forward to meeting with you and helping you to implement your priorities as a councilman. So welcome to the City Council. It's a great opportunity. I loved serving. I miss this place. It's always great to be back home, and I really appreciate the time that you gave me. Now, so, Mr. Mayor, you and I go way back, and I'm just going to say one thing because I know I've spoken a long time here tonight, but I really value our friendship. I value the work that we do together, the substantive, hard work, and the case that was just won, the Ohio House. I mean, that'll be something that you and I have worked on together, and that we, Ms. Barlow, MC Sangailas, Cy Everett, the city finance team and city manager, allowing that much money to be spent for that cause. Great work. Thank you. And one last thing. You beat me. 23,236 votes out of Costa Mesa for mayor. You beat me. Okay, very good.
I could have never beat you if we were on the same ballot, I'll tell you that.
Be a challenge. Okay, so, but congratulations, and I look forward to continuing our good work together. Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Supervisor. And now our Assembly Member, Cotty Petrie-Norris.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, and good evening to the city of Costa Mesa. I think I've got a I got some hardware up there that we will distribute as we take our photos. I'm Kati Petrie-Norris, and I represent the 73rd Assembly District in the California State Assembly, which includes, of course, the fabulous city of Costa Mesa. Appreciate the opportunity to offer a few words of acknowledgement to our outgoing council members and a welcome to our incoming council members. I really appreciated the city manager really setting the stage for the beginning of your term in office for Pro Tem Harlan and Council Member Harper. You have served the city of Costa Mesa during a time of both really profound challenge and really tremendous progress. And you have so much to be proud of, and the city residents of Costa Mesa really have so much to be grateful for. And I too appreciate your willingness to serve. I appreciate everything that you do to make Costa Mesa stronger, to make Orange County stronger, and really to make the state of California stronger. I was just sworn in to my 4th term in the Assembly on Monday, and it is an honor and privilege to serve the residents of the cities of Irvine, Tustin, and Costa Mesa. It really is. And these jobs, whether you're serving in local office, state office, county office, it's such a tremendous opportunity to solve problems and to make people's lives better. And so I want to just extend my heartfelt thanks for all of the work that you have done. Also want to say congratulations to our returning council member, Gamaris, and to Mayor Stevens on your reelection. Again, thank you for everything that you do for this city. It is such a pleasure to work with you on such a huge range of issues, and I really, really appreciate your partnership and your leadership. And lastly, I also want to extend my welcome to our incoming council members, Mr. Bewley and Mr. Pettit. I too look forward to getting to know you, to understanding your priorities, the issues that you care about, what motivates you, and working together so that we can continue to build an even better and brighter Costa Mesa. So with that, congratulations and thank you.
Good. Thank you. All right, so now what we're going to do is let's go down and take a whole series of different photos, and we'll do it as quickly as possible, and then we'll be back up for public comment. All of us. Yeah, bring the hardware down. Yeah, let's all of us come down.
You know what, Jeff? I'm having to carry the key for you. I don't know. Dawn's carrying everything.
I already gave Jeff. I gave Jeff. So
Let's do 3.
okay.
Let's do one with all city stuff.
All right. How are we doing?
City stuff first. So we'll do all the city stuff first, then we'll do
You're going to be in the picture.
yeah, we get your key.
I got it.
Not even that many pictures of my wedding.
All right. You see how easy that was? No problem. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a little liberty here. We have public comments coming up next. Before we do public comments, there's been a reference a few times to the Ohio House case. And so I'd like to have recognized, we don't have on our agenda, we usually do a city attorney report, but I'd like the city attorney to do a very brief report on the Ohio House case, just so the folks here know exactly what we were talking about. City Attorney Barlow, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Many of you may remember that the Ohio House case involved the sober living home ordinances with respect to the multifamily area. They were challenged and a jury upheld the city's ordinances, finding that the city acted with to benefit the disabled, not to discriminate against the disabled, and that the city's reasonable accommodation scheme was appropriate, and that it would not be a reasonable accommodation to waiver from the 650-foot distance requirement. That decision was appealed. It was argued some time ago, and it was the decision came out yesterday, entirely affirming the jury's and district court's determinations that the city did not discriminate, did not intend to discriminate, that the ordinances are valid and legal, that they are intended to and actually do benefit the disabled, and that our reasonable accommodation ordinance is valid and legal. So it's a complete victory in that matter. We're very excited about it. It's been a long time coming, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the time to report out on that.
You're welcome. Thanks for the report. Appreciate it. Okay, so now we have time for public comments. Public comments, normally it's a special meeting. In fact, it's called a special city council meeting, and so it's a little different. Normally for public comments, you get 3 minutes. You could talk about anything that's not on the agenda. This time for public comments, if anybody chooses to speak, and we also go to Zoom, you have 3 minutes. You're supposed to talk about what's on the agenda, so the election, the candidates, things like that. that's the rule, but, you know, honestly, if anybody wants to come up and speak about something else, I will not cut you off. We're interested in hearing what everybody has to say. So with that, I'll open it up for public comments. We have both sides. You can come and speak. Please line up on both sides, and then once we're done in the chambers, we'll go to Zoom. If you get to 2 minutes, you'll hear a tone and you'll see a light, and at 3 minutes, your mic will be cut off. Mr. Humphrey, you have the floor.
Good evening, Council. Jay Humphrey, Costa Mesa resident. First, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. We look forward to a great and wonderful year next year. As most of you know, not all of you, most of you know, I believe that local government is by far the most important form of government we have, because this is where the rubber meets the road. And it's very important that we have people that step up to the plate and do the tasks that need to be done to keep our local government working well, making policies that help the community become the best it can become, that help it move forward and help it be an active part of the much larger community. So it is very important that people take that step and become members of the community in different ways. You guys, all of you, have in fact stepped up and been a council member and a decider for this city, pretty much all expecting nothing different than probably what you got, but finding oftentimes that some of the rules you thought were easy to change, or some of the things you thought would be easy, turned out not to be. And there was differences that you had to face that you would have faced in your normal lives. And what I give all of you credit for is that you've all been able to take those steps and move forward to make those decisions. I don't always agree with every decision you guys make, any of you, but the truth is that you've all absolutely stepped up to the plate for this community. And I warmly and heartily appreciate the fact that you've done that, because the only way local government works well is people sacrifice for their community, and you've all done that especially. You guys who are going out, thank you very much for your service, and you guys who are staying, thank you for your service. I would like to specifically thank my representative in my district, Don Harper, who's played a number of roles, but the most important one I've watched him do is he asks the tough questions and he expects answers. And when he expects answers, he's patient and waits for those answers so he can absolutely make Costa Mesa a better place. So I thank all of you for your care. I thank all of you for your actions. And I bid you, both you and Mr. Harlan, a fond farewell, and hope that the rest of your life absolutely matches the pleasure that we've all had by the betterment you made for our community. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Yes, sir.
James Peters. I ran against Stevens for mayor. It was a good race, Stevens. A few comments I had. This election, unfortunately, does not comply with state law nor with federal law, especially HAVA is being violated when we have hard intercivic 3.2 machines that have not been certified at the state level. They are not EAC certified, which is a federal level, and they have not been tested to make sure they're doing proper things. At least two things I saw with the machines that would indicate there's a flaw in the machine. One was when I was at the voting center and as I was watching as they were doing the signature verification. Signatures had been denied, and this lady said, okay, I want to deny the signature, move on to the next page. But just before it hit the next page, in the bottom left corner, you could see it change to good. And this happens several times. So there's a flaw in the software where people say it's a bad signature, it's still accepted. There's also a flaw with the PID controller. With an algorithm, we could see it in Pettis's race and Bewley's race. Daily, they lost to their competitor. That's not a normal election. Towards the end, it kind of leveled off, but that's an indication there's some kind of algorithm in the machine that's changing things. Also, after voting day, the voting centers were closed, but votes still came in to the tune of about 1,100 votes. So the lights are off, there's no machines, but yet there's still people voting. That's a direct violation of HAVA. They're only 1 out of 125,000 votes can have an error rate, and that's way, way beyond that. So those are at least a few of the errors that I saw. Also, we have 12,000 ballots in our election that have no receipts. That's a vote drop that occurred on the 8th during the bomb scare when the sheriff kicked everybody out, and he directly said you have to leave the property, not the building, the property. Meanwhile, 2 white vans pulled in, and that's when we suspect the vote drop occurred. So on the 6th, the Secretary of State said there was 800,000 roughly ballots in Orange County. On the 8th, suddenly it jumped to 1.1, and there's no receipts those ballots came in, and 12,000 of those ballots were for our city. So again, I kindly ask that you do not certify. This election is a total fraud and is violating all of our state laws and federal laws. And do keep in mind as well, to certify a false election is a federal crime. And you know that Trump's coming into office, so you don't want to be in his path. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we're approaching a new year. We're approaching a partial new council. And I hope along with this new year and new council, we'll consider some new policies. And my suggestions are, number one, I hope that this council could be the first council to actually enact an ethics policy and everybody abide by it and sign it. I'd also like to request that transparency for the council and the residences actually be entered in a more honest manner. Many, many times we've asked for the information relative to the cost of the Ohio House case, and we're told it was not available because there were so many different attorneys, so many different firms. Evidently, the Register came out with the number $20 million, so they had no problem getting those numbers, and I think that the residents should have had the same courtesy as well as the members of the board. And I'd also like to request that sometimes just because you can do something, remember your mother used to say, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And if that little voice in your head tells you that this is a little suspicious or a little not right, maybe you should listen to that voice. But most importantly, what I expect out of this council is by the state statute, this is a nonpartisan position. I'm tired of seeing one political party versus another political party. Can we have enough courage, all of us, the community and the council, to vote what's best for the city over the interest of the party? So we were tired when they were 3-2 votes, 3-2 votes. Well, we're tired of 6-1, 6-1. There has to be a time when you've got the courage to speak out your own opinion and not fall by the wayside of someone you think you should be voting for, or to second a motion that isn't even completed. So let's have some individual thinking. And I don't want to always agree with you. And as you know, I seldom do on most of the things. But I worship and I respect an individuality. And I want to thank Councilman Harper. Not only has he been very clear in his questions and whatnot throughout the years, but in his generosity of giving his entire paycheck to charity was overwhelming. And when I asked him to help our local dog charity, I want to tell you, he wrote a check. And he didn't even question it. And that since has saved so many animals. And I'm also a voter in District 6. And I want to validate that, in fact, the voters in District 6 were very aware of Councilman Harlan's participation in Measure K. So I hope you listen to my words, because these aren't all my words. These are people that have called me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, if nobody else wants to be heard from the chambers, do we have anybody on Zoom, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Brave Pack Mom.
Brave Pack Mom, you have the floor.
Hi, good evening, Council. Please do not certify the last election. There were lots of things that happened that were fraudulent. Certifying a false election is a federal felony and will be reported to the incoming president and his attorney team. And then there were also some mishaps at the ROV while I was there. I was able to witness, people saying that it was, that it was a bad signature, but then it did switch the screen to a good. It was a good signature, and at different stations, Station 26 and other ones that I was at, it was not up and up. So there were many questionable events that happened during this last election. So I'm asking you to please not certify it. And then during the bomb scare, when that happened, with the votes, that there were 800,000 mail-in ballots, and then there were 300,000 additional ballots that showed up. So there's just a lot of things that are questionable. If you could look into that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else on Zoom?
Joe Acosta, please.
Mr. Costa, you have the floor.
You may speak.
Oh, sorry. I was on mute. Hello.
Yes.
1 second. Yes, Stevens, can you hear me? Anybody can hear me?
I sure can, yes.
Okay, yes, fake Mayor Stevens, I want to say that you're a puppet. You're installed. James Peters should actually be the mayor of Costa Mesa. We know that this election was a fraud. We see that there's been nothing but manipulation with the machines. There's definitely an algorithm, and we know that by seeing that it shouldn't take 30 days to certify election. That's ridiculous. It should be 1 day, on paper ballot, and have the results the same evening. This is a bunch of bullshit. We know that during the bomb scare, there was additional 12,000 Costa Mesa ballots that were included in the 300,000 count that was put into place. That pushed you over it, and you got installed. So we know that that Kash Patel's coming in as the FBI director, and you're going to be prosecuted. Just know that everybody that got installed, they're going to be prosecuted. Just know that this is the Trump golden age. We're here, and we're going to get these government gassers out of here. And you guys know what happens when you do treason? You get hanged. So just be aware what's coming, because what's coming you can't stop. Just know that. Justice is coming. It's not redemption. It's justice. Just wait for justice. It's coming, and you can't stop it, Stevens.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anybody else on Zoom?
Joe Toscano, please.
Mr. Toscano, you have the floor.
Hello, my name is Jose Toscano, and I'm coming on here because I want to, first of all, apologize for the previous speaker who just threatened you. I'm a conservative Republican here in Costa Mesa, and I knocked on doors for James Peters. I knocked on doors for Jeff Pettis and Mike Bewley. And the election results, although, I understand why people feel that they're fraudulent in a way, but Mike Bewley and Jeff Pettis both worked their asses off to get those votes, and they're both legitimate. And the voters of District 6 spoke up, and they fired Harlan and put in Pettis. So I just want everyone to know that threatening the mayor himself and calling for the election results to be overturned is not the way we move forward. And I wish that there would be more bipartisanship in the council, and I look forward to that happening in the next 2 years with the new council members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Joe Ito.
Mr. Ito, you have the floor.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Good evening. My name is Joe Ito, and I speak to you today as a representative of Concerned Women for America, the largest women's public policy organization in the country. We advocate for constitutional principles and biblical values in government, and we do this through prayer and action. Today, I appeal to you, the council members, and ask that you do not certify the recent election results. There are numerous concerns regarding the integrity of the process based on acquired information and observations by poll observers and ROV employees. To name a few, there's a big discrepancy between the number of ballots mailed versus registered voters. 13,441 more ballots than voters, to be exact. 12,000 of these extra ballots were counted in Costa Mesa's races, enough to change election results. Secondly, Bob Page at the ROV himself admitted in a lawsuit that the poll books and election management system are on the internet. This is a violation of Election Code 19205 that states, quote, "No part of the voting system shall be connected to the internet at any time," end quote, as it makes voter rolls and vote counts vulnerable to hackers, which can lead to alteration of election results. Thirdly, the HART intercivic voting machines do not have certification from the California Secretary of State, nor from the Election Assistance Commission. Costa Mesa is required by law to use certified voting machines. Next, signature verification at the ROV was very questionable. 1/5 of the signatures should have never been approved. And yet, unlike elections before 2020, observers are no longer allowed to challenge a decision, making the role of an observer irrelevant. I mean, the whole point of observing is to challenge discrepancies in order to keep elections honest, and yet we're not allowed to do that. The man at Station 15 did a terrible job, and he was the manager of 20 stations. These are only a few reasons why the election results should not be certified. The long list of concerns by the citizens should first be addressed and rectified in order to get true results for certification. Thank you for your time, and God bless you in all you do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next speaker is Kian.
Kian, you have the floor.
Hi, Council. Can you hear me well?
Yes, perfectly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, and council members-elect. My name is Keon Momeni. I'm a resident of Costa Mesa, and I'm a student at UC Irvine, where I'm a senior political writer for our campus newspaper. I speak to you today because this rhetoric made by several speakers tonight has all gone too far. All of it. I'm frankly shocked and appalled that in a moment where democracy is at its greatest importance, we still have individuals who are doubting the results of free and fair elections. It is frankly really disrespectful to everyone who works as an election official, to even the journalists who go and cover these races. We had an independent student group who got together and called races for the first time. We really don't have anyone to fill in that gap. We called races and looking at all of these results for races in Costa Mesa and throughout Orange County. And frankly, it's really shocking that we still have individuals who doubt these election results at a time where they simply are of utmost importance. Councilmember Chavez mentioned at a city council meeting prior to the election that we are not beholden to a king in this nation, and our right to vote is one of our most important rights in that sense. I wholeheartedly agree. And frankly, in his own words, I agree with his statement. You cannot choose to accept the results of an election only when you win. And it's frankly very childish behavior that we have individuals coming here and doubting the results, which I will once again say, you cannot accept the results of an election only when you win. We can do better than that in this community, and frankly, we must do better. Thank you.
Phone number ending in 674.
674, you have the floor.
Hello, my name is Mark Fuksovich, and I'm a dedicated member of this community. And I just wanted to start off by thanking our outgoing council members, specifically Mayor Pro Tem Harlan and Councilmember Harper, for all of their dedicated service to the city of Costa Mesa. It's really incredible how much effort and time and attention they've put into making this community stronger. And even if I haven't agreed with both of them or some of them or one of them on a lot of things, I really appreciate the service and dedication that they've put into making this community a better place. And I'm really grateful for the two folks who stepped up and who won their elections and who are now here to make our community stronger. And it's because they won a free and fair election, because Orange County has one of the best election systems in the entire country, not just in California, but the entire country. And so I just want to really appreciate going back to conversations about potholes, about housing affordability, about street safety, and about the fairgrounds and about everything else that we have in our community to worry about and to love and to appreciate and to cherish. And I'm looking forward to having those conversations in the dais again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No further speakers, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, close public comments. Now it's time for council members to provide comments. First up from District 3 is Councilmember Andrea Marr. Oh, do I have to, we could just do discussion mode. Yeah, hold on one second. Go ahead.
You guys ready for this?
I am.
Just trying to read the faces of the two new council members as they're hearing our public comment tonight. Look, Costa Mesa is never boring. I'll give us that. We thrive on a variety and a diversity of opinions, and I think this was very much witnessed in this most recent election. You know, I know we kind of want to get to the point where we swear new folks in, so I'm not going to belabor this, but thank you to the two council members for your service. I've been thinking a lot about the man in the arena speech and channeling my inner Teddy Roosevelt, and just this notion that it really isn't just the critic who counts or the man who points out how the strong man stumbled or the doer of deeds could have done them better. You know, everybody who's serving up here is in the arena. We've got ideas, we want to hash them out, we want to get policies across. It's never enough to just say what we wouldn't do. It's got to be about what we will do. It's not enough to say that we think that, you know, someone's got a crappy idea up here. The point of this job is to put things forward that actually improve our community. So thank you for those of you who have stepped up and served, and welcome to those of you who are about to join us up here. I hope you will consider yourselves men in the arena and not just critics. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up is Councilmember Chavez from District 4.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens, and thank you, Councilmember Marr, for that beautiful quote and harkening back to our old president. I'll be brief, but I'll say this. Democracy is messy, but democracy is also beautiful. Because in no other system of government can us, the people, make a change when we want to make a change. To the prior speakers that spoke, 2 of the 4 seats elected were Republican. 2 of the 4 seats were Democrat. Costa Mesa is a pretty purple city, evenly split amongst both parties. In my eyes, that seems pretty representative of our community. And I'll remind us, as I'll always remind us, that what makes us Americans is not an ethnicity, it is not a shared race, it is not a shared religion. It is the common belief in this land of opportunity and a fair democratic process. And the moment we stop believing in that process, our country has nothing to stand on. Because we were founded as a society where your race doesn't matter, your ethnicity doesn't matter, your faith doesn't matter, it's your actions and your deeds. So with that, I want to congratulate the 2 incoming council members. I want to thank my 2 peers on the council, President Harlan and Councilmember Harper, for your service. But this is America, and this is democracy. And you can't be sad if you lose. Sorry, you can be sad if you lose. You can't be a sore loser, though. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Councilmember. Next up from District 2 is Councilmember Lauren Gameros.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I do have a few things I'd like to say this evening. I want to start off by being thankful for the opportunities that I've had, thankful for being able to represent this community, and I want to personally thank some people that have been involved in helping me move forward and grow as an individual. First of all, I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for my wife. So I just want to take a minute and thank her. She's been a great supporter for me through good, through bad, whatever's going on, she's always been there. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my mom. When we ran the first time, she was there on the phone making phone calls and doing whatever it took to try and get us through this. So I want to thank her for that. And I also want to thank someone who's here this evening to swear me in, and that's going to be my cousin Chris. He saw something in me that I didn't see a long time ago and always knew that there was probably going to be something for me if I pursued this. And I did, and here I am. Normally, I come up here and I thank a lot of the public service people, and I do want to continue with that. I want to thank staff for being very patient with me and very helpful. And I also, last but not least, I want to thank the constituents. I want to thank the constituents for having faith in me to represent them, not only in this community, but in my district as well. And I look forward to being there for each and every one of you through thick and thin, good and bad. Whatever I do, I promise you I'll take responsibility for whatever happens. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. Next up from District 1, Councilmember Donald Harper.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you for all the hardware. And for those staff that know me, I truly appreciate it. I do like the sign, Harper Way. I wanted a park, though. That would give me 2 parks in Costa Mesa, Harper Park, but she gave me 1. A lot of this, early on, they started sending me T-shirts and stuff, and I would say, don't send me this stuff. Don't spend the money and save the money. And a lot of those T-shirts, all those jackets went to the homeless shelter. So if you see someone with a Councilman Don Harper on it, they're walking around, it's not me, and I gave it to him. So don't arrest them. You know, I want to start with extending a heartfelt thanks to the staff who consistently have assisted me in serving the community. And I did give you credit when you did, Raja and all of you that helped me out, made me look good, but I said it wasn't me. Whether it's installing, you mentioned flock cameras or navigating the permitting process or reducing rumble strips or the help at the Costa Mesa Tennis Center, truly appreciate it, and the community appreciates it. I am going to mention something that I've mentioned before. I'm grateful to the Costa Mesa Police Department leadership, Joyce and Ron, for their guidance and support in I get choked up on this, in helping a mother locate her missing daughter who had fallen victim to human trafficking. So 21 years old, wouldn't be alive today, I don't think, without you. So you saved a life. And for all the thing I've complained about being up here and the anxiety I have about doing this job, which is never something I dreamed of, I would do it again for that I'm most proud of. So, but I couldn't do it without my connection to you, to the Costa Mesa staff and my connection here. So thank you for that. To people who attend these council meetings, write letters, share ideas, voice concerns, thank you. Your engagement is a cornerstone of our process and reminds us, and whether you come to challenge us or support us, your involvement strengthens our city and reminds us to the value of listening. You know, I'm going to say something about elections, and I would differentiate our questioning the election results and questioning the process, because, you know, Lorianne mentioned I run a company, and if I had, like tonight we had 4 or 5 people complain. If I had 4 or 5 people complain or customers complain about something, I'm going to want to know what it's about. And as annoying as I am at this council seat, I'm the same annoying guy at work. I'm going to ask 1,000 questions until I get an answer, and that drives us to be better. And so if someone wants to question an election, do it politely, do it intelligently, present facts, and we should question our process. There is no way, in my mind, I can't run a company we have 350 employees and 8,000 customers, and I can't get everything done right. There's no way. And so I would think with the massive process it is to run a fair election, a proper election, and not make mistakes, I find it impossible. So, like anything, I'm always curious, and I try and stay that way. And I've tried to be honest about that. So the one other thing that's important is to recognize the voices of those who cannot attend our meetings. Decision making should never be limited to those who can be present. Our meetings and I complain about them all the time. All the pictures and all the stuff, it's great, and all the things we do in the process is great, but I like to get to an agenda, let people show up, let people voice their opinions, and move on with business. So it's what I do in my business life. And I want to hear from people, but a lot of people don't show up because it is such a cumbersome bureaucratic process. We get agendas 4 days before, so a lot of people don't have the opportunity to. You know, I am 1 versus 6 oftentimes, and I will tell you something. It's human nature to get along. It's human nature to vote along with the group. It is hard to voice a different opinion, and I've tried to do it politely, not sarcastically and not rudely, but I thought it was important. I represent, while 1 versus 6, I think I represent, and my voice represents, and my ideas represents a much larger percentage than 14%, which is the 1 and 7. So I want to make that point. I voted against a lot of things, from cannabis to high density housing to I wanted to take your day away, your holiday, your extra holiday staff. Sorry, I know you're frowning at me. It's okay. But, you know, I got a list of them: COVID era masks, parking permit fees. I'm not going to go through it, but it's hard. And it's hard if you've been, well, I'm not going to say that, but it's hard, you know, based on where your loyalties are and sometimes your party and sometimes the party you represent, because you're connected to that. And I understand that. Finally, I want to congratulate Mike and Jeff Pettis on their election to council. I want to apologize to their families who are here sitting through this. This is probably more entertaining than most of the meetings, and so get used to it. They had my full support because their policies reflect the values and priorities I've championed during my tenure. I commend their efforts to run for office and thank them in advance for the sacrifices they'll make over the next 4 years. I think they're genuinely good people. I think they genuinely want to represent their community. I don't think they're tied to any special interest, and for that reason alone, I like them. I like them a lot. So I hope their victories send a clear message about the direction or what our voters want for Costa Mesa's future. And the rest of you, thank you so much. I like you all. I disagree with most of you, but I like you all, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Councilmember. Now, our last wisdom from the wise one, Jeff Harlan, from our Mayor Pro Tem from District 6.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me be the first thing I want to say is to welcome the new council members, Councilmember Pettis and Councilmember Bewley. Obviously, your message resonated with the voters, and you'll be sitting up here. Maybe this is a little preview of how challenging things can be here. As Councilmember Moore noted, it's never a dull moment up here. I wanted to give a special thanks to your families, too. It is a very difficult process running a campaign. It's hard to be part of. It's very intense. I will tell you, though, however, you're going to get a little pass because governing is a lot harder. And I hope that you will learn to appreciate that doing this job right means being patient, being prudent, and above all, having some humility, because we are all here as public servants. I don't really want to comment on the election. I think that's been kind of beaten to death tonight. The one thing I do want to say, though, is I'm extremely proud of the campaign that we ran. And it was very important to me that it expressed my values, as well as I think the values of my constituents, in that it would be a positive, hopeful, and honest campaign. And I think that's what our voters expect and what they deserve from our elected officials. A few weeks ago, I made some comments in advance of Thanksgiving, just being very grateful for our staff, who I've worked with for years, community. Tonight, I really wanted to give more of that gratitude to my colleagues, because this will be the last time. I appreciate Lorianne setting that stage about 4 years ago, because it really was a very difficult and uncertain time, not just for the community, certainly, but for the council. And we had a great responsibility. We had a number of difficulties in trying to manage. I think we did an excellent job. I think we emerged from the pandemic stronger. I think our community was better for it. And I think it really enabled us as a group to work better together. I remember that the very first few meetings were just on Zoom. How do you work with people over a computer screen? And then also try and engage with the community. It was a very challenging time. And make no mistake, there is no uniform opinion up here. We all have our own perspectives. I think we have, for the most part, a vision that we shared. And we're very adept at advocating for our positions. But this is not a monolithic perspective. And we've had a fair number of spirited debates. Even if it seemed to be a 6-1 vote, that doesn't mean there wasn't a lot of conversations and debate among us. I love doing this job. I think some of you may appreciate this is probably the last place that I want to be tonight. Unlike Councilmember Harper, who's very eager to move on, I don't share that opinion. But I couldn't, there's no place I'd rather be. This has been a home for 8 years, 4 years as council. It is comfortable. I hate the limelight. I am embarrassed by all of the accolades and the feting and the hard. Oh, I like the hardware. I'll admit that. But it's not why I do this job. It's really to be the public servant, to put your head down, to do the work, and really to get to know your colleagues, many of whom I consider friends. I mean, this is, a tough thing to do. I did forget. I meant a note of it, and I forgot to do it. In addition to welcoming the new council, I do want to congratulate Councilmember Gameros on his reelection. Lauren, you were unbeatable. And of course, my good friend, the mayor, who thankfully I think will be able to lead this city for the next 2 years, as he has done for the last several, in a way that gives people respect and with thoughtfulness and compassion, and really is and as much as he's leading, he's very much an anchor for this dais. I know a lot of us look to you, John, for leadership and advice. You are always very thoughtful and fun to be around. And I'm going to miss that too. Lastly, I just want to say that it's really been an honor to be the first representative for the East Side. I am not going anywhere. I will continue to serve in whatever capacity I can, and I am forever grateful for this community. Thank you.
Okay, I've got several things to say, and then we've got to get to these new council members. We got to get sworn in. Come on. So, and then they'll get a chance, of course, to speak after they're sworn in. And I get another bite at the apple, but I'll be brief. Just want to say for the staff to acknowledge these beautiful poinsettias and all the work that went on, and we had our nice reception, and thank you to the staff for that. I mean, it's really amazing what you do, and it's an honor. Thank you. So I've got 2 houses to talk. Merry Christmas, everyone. Oh, before I get to the houses, you've got to go to the pickleball courts. We just opened on Monday pickleball courts. Thank you to Public Works and the Parks Department and the Finance Department. And everybody came together as we always do. 8 beautiful pickleball courts over at the tennis center, and there's more pickleball to come. So I know out there's pickleball players, and they're really, look at, we've even got Councilmember Mars got her pickleball paddle. She's ready to go. We need to get Councilmembers Bewley, or soon-to-be Councilmembers Bewley and Pettis out there on the courts too. 2 houses. Snoopy House first starts on December 13th. December 13th, goes for a week until December 20th. It's right out there. And there'll be a special Santa Claus if you come on December 14th. If you want to, you could sit on Santa's lap. You get that's optional. And then you get a candy cane, you get a photograph, and it's just a beautiful thing. That's house number 1. House number 2 is the Ohio House. The Ohio House case is a landmark case and will be forever. It's a Ninth Circuit case that came down. The $20 million, that quote, that number comes from the mayor of the great city of Costa Mesa. That was my number and my estimate. It's not the number for the Ohio House case. It's the number that the city has spent from the inception of our work on sober living homes until today. A little bit about that. Sober living homes, just so you get an idea of what the Ohio House, the impact of that, and the culmination of it. The sober living homes started to come up in the city of Costa Mesa in about 2012, when I was first running for city council. Lost that race, but that's a whole nother story. It was came about because of the unscrupulous selling of OxyContin in many other states, and people came to what Costa Mesa became known as the Rehab Riviera. There were 300 approximately sober living homes in the city of Costa Mesa estimated. The city council had to take action. The city council back then were James Righeimer, Steve Menzinger, Gary Monahan, Wendy Lease, and Sandy Guinness. They took action. They, in 2014, passed an ordinance. From that time, every council member and every council has supported that decision through $20 million of legal fees and decisions that we made. We got a great planning commission on board, including the first person we seated was Jeff Harlan. Went through many applications, like 30 applications. They were challenged in court, and now we have a Ninth Circuit decision. Thank you to our outside counsel, MC Sungalia, who argued in front of the Ninth Circuit, Cy Everett and his team at Everett Dory, who tried the Ohio House case, Jennifer Keller, who tried the predecessor case, which was the Yellowstone case, and all the council members and all the staff members that supported them. Mike and Jeff. We will do things together that will impact council members, and council members will have to back us up into the 30s and the 40s, to be sure, especially you guys, because you're here for 4 years. I'm here for 2 years. We have to support the things that were done by our prior council members on something as critical as this to our public safety and our neighborhoods. So thank you to all the council members who stuck it out, and to our staff and to our outside counsel. Thank you, thank you. It's a landmark decision, not just for the city of Costa Mesa, but for all of the 13 states within the Ninth Circuit. And I will say this, and maybe I shouldn't, we paid the bill. And every city in all 13 states benefit from the sacrifice of the taxpayers of the city of Costa Mesa. So please, that's the only house. I don't have any third house, so that's good. Let's get to the one business item. Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. The City of Costa Mesa held a general municipal election on November 5th, 2024, as required by law. The mayor's seat and 3 council member seats were on the ballot. The Orange County Registrar of Voters certified the election on Tuesday, December 5th, 2024. For the mayor's seat, the individual receiving the most votes was John Stevens. For District 1, the individual receiving the most votes was Michael Bewley. For District 2, the individual receiving the most votes was Lauren Gameros. For District 6, the individual receiving the most votes was Jeff Pettis. Staff recommendation is to adopt the resolution approving the final certification of the election. Following the vote on the certification, we will proceed with the administration of the oaths of office for the newly elected mayor and council members, and then city council reorganization by election of the mayor pro tem. This concludes the report, and I'm able to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Council, do you have any questions of the clerk? Okay. If not, I'm going to make a motion to certify the election.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Chavez. And I don't have any comments to support my motion. Councilmember, do you have any comments?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Any other council members with comments? Let's call for the question.
Motion carries 6-0.
Wonderful. We have we certified the election. And now, Madam Clerk, let's move forward with the oaths.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Would you please join me front and center?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you guys stand behind me. Oh, Ann and Lori too. Ann and Lori, you stand behind me, please. Yes. Okay. Oh. Okay.
We're not making
All right. No, you guys you have no speaking part, so it's all good. All right.
Please raise your right hand, and then you will repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John B. Stevens,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Mr. Bewley to join me, please, and his family.
Testing. You got me? Hello?
Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Michael John Bewley,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and will well and faithfully
and will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Mr. Pettis, would you please join you and your family too? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jeff Pettis,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and will well and faithfully
and will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
from which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Girl dad.
Oh,
Hold on.
Brenda.
All right, would Councilmember Gamaros please join us? And then tonight, Mr. Taylor, the cousin to Mr. Gamaros, will administer the oath.
Yes. I've got my script, and I am very honored. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Lauren Gamaros,
I, Lauren Gamaros,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and will well and faithfully discharge the duties
and will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
All right, group photo. Come on in. You gotta have, the short one's gotta stand in front.
Where? Oh, I
Yeah.
Okay, you guys come in. Yep, sorry the delay. All right. So now we're going to do a 5-minute recess where we get to switch it out. Mike and Jeff can come on up, and Jeff and Don can relinquish their seats.
Done our battles in the courtroom, and now I get to call you my mayor, and you get to call me your city council member or city councilman for District 1. So with that out of the way, I am going to be brief tonight. Tonight's about thank yous and not stating my policy positions and whatnot and all that. But I wouldn't be sitting here without all kinds of people supporting me and getting behind me and kind of urging me on. And obviously, first and foremost is my wonderful wife, Adriana, who's here in the audience, and my son, Michael. Hopefully zooming in or watching via the internet are my 2 daughters. I've got Samantha, who worked as my campaign manager. She's in her 4th year out at University of Arizona, getting that marketing degree, and a lot of my money's been going to Arizona. And so, well, she was home this summer. She decided to help her dad and run his campaign and get my website up, and it really was a family deal. My middle daughter, Natalie, is down at San Diego State, and I love them to death. And this has been a heck of a journey, and now here I am. A couple people I want to thank: Don Harper. Early on, after I was approached to consider replacing Don, I met with him. We've become very good friends. He's been just a wealth of information. He's guided me, and I'll be forever indebted. And I just appreciate him for the service that he's given the city for the last 4 years and the personal assistance he's given me in embarking on this journey. And bear with me, there's a lot of people to thank. And Don steered me to our District 1 Planning Commissioner, Representative John Zitch. John's been amazing. That guy can tell you every jot and tittle of code and everything that's happening in the city. And he's definitely been an asset to me in helping me get past learning curves, and he'll continue to do that going forward. I'd be remiss if I didn't also send out a word of appreciation to my opponent, Adam Arith. He's currently serving the city as the planning commissioner. By happenstance, early in this process, he and I crossed paths. We were out walking our dogs one day. We had a very cordial discussion, and it was more like, hey, let's just do fair, let's be honorable, and, may the best man win. And I don't know if that occurred, but I do appreciate the fact, the way that we conducted ourselves during this campaign. Jeff Pettis, I tell you, congratulations, buddy.
You know, he was in it. It wasn't lost on me that Don has been up here as kind of the sole Indian for a number of years, and I was contemplating taking over Don's seat, and we heard a lot tonight about 6-1 votes, 6-1 votes, and now there's a possibility that maybe we have some 5-2, or maybe with some persuasion we can really get back to nonpartisanship, and we really have a mixed mash of votes. But Jeff's been amazing. This was his second campaign run, and I did follow a lot of what he was doing. I learned a lot from watching him, and it was pretty amazing to do that. A lot of former city leaders, Wendy Lee, Steve Mensinger, Jim Righeimer, John Morlock, they were all instrumental in assisting me and helping me. Barry Friedland, fellow who runs the Costa Mesa Brief YouTube channel, he was unbelievable in assisting me and giving me some insights and helping me with my campaign. We are Costa Mesa, and I got Gracie Goldman here in the audience tonight. When the Marani family, some of my neighbors, and my oldest daughter and John Marani's oldest daughter were in Indian princesses together. I've been a member of this community for 21 years. That little Indian princess has come up and she works at We Are Costa Mesa. Somehow they thought that I might be the right guy to replace Don Harper. They handed the ball off to Gracie. She persuaded me a little further. They got the Lincoln Club behind me. I got Seth Morrison here tonight. Their work, guidance, assistance, everything was just amazing. The OC GOP, they were just amazing in assisting me. And I'm a neophyte. This was not on my things to do list to run for public office. But I had a lot of great people guide me, a lot of great support behind me. The Scott Baugh campaign, Hunter Griffith and Nick Gerard over there, they and their team were just amazing in assisting me and helping me, guiding me, telling me all kinds of stuff that I didn't know. So it was just an amazing ride. I couldn't have done it. Jim Fisler, Janet and Wynn, she guided me to some other, and her staff helped me a little bit. And I'd be completely remiss if I didn't mention my brother-in-law, Joe Flack. I was told early on, if you're going to campaign, you got to walk to win. And I walked, and I knocked. And District 1's got a lot of doors. And my brother-in-law, Joe Flack, I was blessed and fortunate. He must have walked and been by my side on at least half of those doors. And so I'll be forever indebted to that. Again, the friends and family and my wife's local bunco crowd, my buddy Kenny Watkins, who's here tonight. This really was a grassroots deal. I've lived in the community for 21 years, and it was just all the friends, neighbors in my immediate community. When I put the word out there that I was contemplating doing this, I was really humbled by the outpouring of sincere support. And without that, I don't think I would have pushed forward with this. I mentioned the Maranis. There's tons of people I'm probably missing, but you know who you are, and I'll be forever indebted. Again, just in wrapping it up, you know, again, my family and I have lived here for 21 years. This community's been amazing to me. I've benefited from Costa Mesa, the community, the Little League sports activities, the faith community. It's just been a great place to raise my family. We moved here when my second daughter was about 6 months old. And my goal, and again, I was humbled when I was asked to get involved and assist in this city and contribute back to this city. And I look forward to doing that. I hope you guys all hold me to it. My goal is to conduct myself with honesty and integrity. I am endorsed, represented, supported by the OC GOP. I do have conservative values. I made that very clear when I was running. I can disagree with people without being disagreeable. I think John can confirm that. And I hope to just lend my viewpoint to this council so that as a group, collectively, we can make the best decisions possible for our entire community. And I trust that a large percentage of the issues that we're dealing with, there'll be 6-0, 6-0, 6-0 votes, or 7-0, I would imagine. But there will be those occasional ones where we have strong disagreements. But it's going to be okay to disagree if even we can just nibble around the edges and come to the best resolution and the best solution. So with that, again, I'm humbled to be up here. It's an awesome responsibility, and I know I'm going to mess up along the way, but I hope you give me a little bit of grace, and I hope this honeymoon period that I'm about to experience lasts for an extended period of time. So thank you.
Okay, moving in, thank you, Councilmember Bewley. Moving in numerical order, Councilmember Gameros, Lauren Gameros, District 2.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, first of all, I want to congratulate the two new council members that are here, and I'd like to offer them a little bit of advice. One of the things that I'd like to say is, if you want to support this community, you're going to need support from a couple of places. First of all, you're going to need support from your family. I would not be able to do this if I didn't have the great support that I have at home with my family, my wife and my kids, Heather, Kyle, and Presley. If it wasn't for the three of you backing me up 100%, there's no way I could do this. Secondarily, if you want to support the community, you're going to need staff's support. And remember that when you go to staff, for whatever it is that you need to get done, and it's not just here and there, it's on a daily basis. I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I still rely heavily on staff for a number of things, and they never fail to come through for me. So just remember that I'm very grateful to staff for everything that's been done, and I wouldn't be able to support the community without them. That's my advice I offer to the two of you moving forward. Remember that you're going to need support from two places. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Councilmember. From the east side, District 6, Councilmember Jeff Pettis.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens. Thank you, Lauren Gameros and Mike Bewley. Mike, I'm actually going to keep it brief here. My name is Jeff Pettis, and first and foremost, I do need to thank, I hired somebody, my tech advisor, my campaign consultant. Geez, actually I share a bed with her too. My wife, I couldn't have done anything without her. She's been my everything, honey, so thank you very much. And my daughters, I'm a girl dad, and I see my mother too is filming me as we speak. Thank you, Mom. My family is everything to me, so thank you. And it's important for me to thank my predecessor, Jeff Harlan. He gave 8 years, as far as I know, it's 4 years in planning and 4 years here on council. I respect him for the work he's done for the city. I respect him for his integrity and his honest approach to campaigning. And I want to extend my debt of gratitude to him for what he's done for the city. And thank you for welcoming me to the council. And thank you to the people. I'm not going to go into names and groups, but you guys know who you are. This is not something that I could have done on my own. I actually ran in 2020, as some of you know. It was kind of yeah, what the hell, let's do this. How hard can it be, right? It's very hard. But what I did in 2020 was received a BA in city governance, because I lost, and I watched. And I came to the meetings, and I came to understand how it works and how the sausage is made, and that was something that I wouldn't trade in for anything. And I'm going to close with why I get all the time, why do you do this? Why did you run? Why in the heck would you want to do this? You have this career and this family, and there's really two reasons. The first reason is a couple of decades ago, I learned that I'm at my best when I'm serving other people, and I'm at my best when I'm not focused on myself, when I'm focused on the needs of the people and the love and the people that respond to me at work and the things that I'm responsible for. And secondly, a community or an organization or a family, what I've come to know is it functions at its best and it's most healthy when the people involved are involved, and the people that are involved are part of the process, not being dictated to. And in this case, I see my responsibility as being a representative of the District 6 residents primarily. That's why I was elected, and that's who I'm going to listen to. Now, that's not to the exclusion, obviously, of the rest of the city, but I see my job as being an advocate to the citizens of Costa Mesa, and I can do the best possible job I can do to represent them. So I pledge to be transparent, honest, and responsive. Doesn't mean I'm going to do everything they want, but I'm going to do my very best to be the best advocate I can possibly be here on City Council. So thank you very much.
Thank you, council members. And I just have a few words. I just like to congratulate everybody. We're halfway through the meeting, so no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to talk that long. First for the thank yous, I'm going to start with my family. If I'm going to start with my family, I got to start with my wife, Amy. We've been married for I think it's 38 years, and it's a long time. We've been together for over 40 years, and we've been doing this public service, election. We used to do coaching and all this stuff. She was president of the Costa Mesa American Little League, and we've been involved in the community for a lot of years. And it's been 5 elections for me, and I'm 3-2. I finally worked myself up to a winning record. And I know what it's like to lose, and I know what it's like to win. I'm here to tell you, winning is better. So thank you to Amy for all the support over the years. Thank you to my children who are here, which I'll give some extra love to. My children who are not here, Olivia and Nate, I love them too, but you have to be present to win. We've got Tommy here. Tommy is my oldest child. He's 32 years old, going to be 33. I've got all my kids are old. He's a special ed teacher. He's one of the most caring people that I know, and I'm proud that he's my son. And then Carolyn is here, and she's quite something, and her boyfriend Jack is here, and so I want to acknowledge Jack. Remember, we mentioned the Ninth Circuit with the Ohio House case. She's going to be a Ninth Circuit clerk next year in Billings, Montana, and she's really something. She's the family's very proud of her. I say, I'm not 100% it's true, but she's the #1 law student at UCLA. Perfect score on the LSATs. She's going places, and I just hope she remembers that she came from Costa Mesa, and then of course my sisters. It's a little bit coincidental. I have sisters Ann and Lori, and we've got the city manager, Lori Ann. So there's some kind of weird symmetry there, but thank you. They came from a long way. My sister Ann lives in Bakersfield, and my sister Lori lives in Eagle Rock, and they're here representing my parents too. Anyway, lots of people to thank for the campaign. Those of you that know me know that I don't do a whole lot, actually. I delegate a lot, and I have a lot of support. Ron and Sandy Frankowitz were my treasurers, along with Mario Lavalle. That's a big job, and they've been my treasurers for 4 campaigns. You can't be the treasurer if you don't bring in any money. Karina Frank Pantone helped me raise the money. He had to raise like almost $150,000 to get this seat. Thank you to all the people that contributed to my campaign. Derek Humphrey took all the snappy photos that you saw in your email box. Thank you very much. And Cash Rutherford, who did a lot of the field and everything like that. It's to run a campaign, especially a citywide mayor campaign, it's really quite an endeavor. Mike Bewley, Councilmember Bewley, who's going to take over and be my council member in District 1. It's true, we have known each other for 25 years. It will be very, very interesting, and I'm looking forward to serving in this capacity with Councilmember Bewley. We have been lawyers together on cases, some very hard-fought cases. We've always been on the same side, by the way, oddly enough. He's one of the best lawyers in Orange County, and to see how he applies that skill set to the council is going to be something I look forward to watching. Councilmember Pettis, congratulations. You fought it. You had a very tough campaign, very hard fought against a very worthy opponent, and you won. And I look forward to working with you. You have a beautiful, supportive family, and that's important. Thank you for being here. Thank you also, Bewley family, for being here. I don't want to leave you out. And then Councilmember Gameros, with whom I've served, I think, almost 4 years, and he's going to be here for another 4 years. Boy, when you get elected and then nobody has the courage to run against you, that means you must be doing something right. So, it's not a free kick that he didn't get an opponent. He earned that. He earned that by being very prominent in his community and delivering results for 4 years. So thank you, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. And also, we've got Councilmember Chavez and Councilmember Marr that are here, and I've worked with them now for 6 years, I think, and they're really spectacular council members. Thank you also to the city staff. Councilmember Gameros offered a bit of advice, and I would say is, we never do anything alone, right? When people campaign, they say they're going to do all these things, right? Well, it's not really a lie, right? Because they're going to maybe do those things, but they're not going to do those things unless they can get support of 3 other council members, right? And then once the council members, either support of 3 other council members, they have a majority, and then we put it in the hands of our capable staff. And our staff in the city of Costa Mesa is second to none. So thank you for that. And without them, nothing gets done. No potholes get filled. No trees get trimmed. Nobody gets arrested. Nobody gets saved. Nobody has any fun at a park. Nothing happens without the staff. Okay, so thank you, and that's my humble advice. Lastly, in terms of thank yous, my law firm. So my law firm is actually moving from Costa Mesa to Irvine tomorrow. FBFK is the name of the firm, and they've been very, very supportive of me, and they don't have to be. They can tell me, if you want to do this job that's going to take 20 to 30 hours a week, you have to find another place to practice law, but they support me all the way, so thank you to FBFK. For my part, in terms of the bigger picture, we live in an unbelievable city, right? I mean, when I talk about potholes, we don't have potholes because do you know that we have the #2 pavement condition index in Orange County, and Orange County, I'm on the OCTA board, has the #1 index in the state of California. So we are the second best city in the state of California in pavement condition index. We have a Hall of Fame. Where's the Hall of Famer? Chief Stefano back there is a Hall of Fame fire chief. Ron Lawrence right now is hosting in Costa Mesa the Chiefs Association. He's the head of the Chiefs Association. He is the chief of the Chiefs. Right? I mean, this is the type of city we live in. We have South Coast Plaza. Who has South Coast Plaza? Who has the fairgrounds? Who has all these places to shop? The best restaurants in Orange County or the state of California. We have the Chargers left and the Raiders came, right? The Raiders, professional football team, okay? We have a diverse community. We have a diverse community. We have people that live in the nicest places and people that are struggling economically. And by the way, we do and we should spend a disproportionate amount of time lifting people who are having trouble up. That's what we should be doing, right? We represent great residents, but we don't only represent great residents, we represent business owners, visitors. You know, on any given day, we have 110,000 people that come into that live in the city of Costa Mesa, and on any given day, on any time, we have 300,000 people in the city of Costa Mesa. 93% of the people who work in Costa Mesa live someplace else, right? They're all our constituents, in my opinion. If you are in the city limits, we work for you, and we're here to serve. And I'm here to serve. business owners, property owners, teachers, firefighters, coaches, youth sports. This year, nonprofits. This year, we're going to focus on nonprofits. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in the best city in the world. Now, we're going to leave off like New York and Paris and whatever, but we could probably contend with them. But if you can find me a city of 100,000 to 125,000 people, and you think it's better, you know what? Bewley and I are going to go argue our tails off, and we're going to convince you that Costa Mesa is better because it is. We've got a lot to be proud of, but we can't take anything for granted. We have to continue to serve that city. Nobody is going to tell us that there's the perfect amount of crime in Costa Mesa. We always have to be improving our public safety. No one is going to tell us that there's a perfect amount of homelessness in Costa Mesa. There's no perfect amount of homelessness. There shouldn't be any anywhere in the United States of America, much less in our rich city. And we will do it together. The council, the staff, the residents, the property owners, all the constituents working together. Enough already about this 6-1 vote. By the way, that's a myth, right? There are a lot of times where I voted with Harper and he voted with me or whatever. That checked the record, okay? There's a lot of people up here who had some very disappointing votes. When I voted with Harper, Harper voted with me, Harper voted with Harlan. It's all over the place. Yeah, I know. We're in the same, Andrea Mara and I are in the same party. We disagree on everything. But you know what? We approach this thing with goodwill. And a good heart, and we're trying to do what's best. The community will continue to do it. And it's the honor of my life to preside over the city and be the mayor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very grateful. Okay, that's it. And with that, I'd like to make a motion. I move to appoint, I move that Councilmember Chavez, Manuel Chavez, be the mayor pro tem. Can I get a second? Second by Gameros. Okay, to support my motion, Councilmember Chavez has been a very, very strong council member since 2018. He is a strong voice. He supports his community. He's very beloved in his community. I've called him the most lovable council member in the history of Costa Mesa. I definitely include myself in that. He's more lovable than me, that's for sure. That's not saying much. But Councilmember Chavez has been an amazing council member, an amazing colleague, and I know he'll do a great job as the mayor pro tem. Councilmember Gameros.
Yeah, I'm just going to be very brief. I've known Councilmember Chavez now for 4 years, more than that actually, and he's always been a very, very strong leader in his community, and I believe he's going to be a strong leader as the mayor pro tem. So I wish him the best of luck, and hopefully I can be a mentor for him moving forward. Thank you.
All right. If no other council members have anything to say, let's call for the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could Councilmember Pettis, could you please state your vote? It's not showing on my screen. I'm sorry.
City attorneys can't get it to work either, so.
Can you state your vote out loud, please?
Yes.
Thank you. And Councilmember Bewley also.
I will vote yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right, great, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Chavez, you have the floor if you wish to make some comments.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you to my new colleagues. Thank you for the old colleagues. And thank you, everyone, for this vote of confidence in this role. I'll keep it brief. Mayor Stevens told me something when I forgot on city council. He said, you're going to be a council member for a district, but majority of your votes are going to be about all Costa Mesa. And that couldn't that was spot on. It's my pleasure and my joy to focus on my district, but also to notice the fact that every vote we take may be on a new business, on a new policy, on supporting our public officers. It all impacts all Costa Mesa. So I promise to do what I've always done, which is to listen to anyone that wants to talk to me, to pick the brains of those that know more than me, but more importantly for me, focusing on the 3 key things that I think every council should do. 1, public safety. Make sure our officers and our firefighters have the tools they need to succeed because they keep our residents safe. Number 2, focus on the economics of our city. Make sure you have a healthy tax revenue, maybe from sales tax, maybe from investment in new businesses and new development, all while balancing the needs of the community. But we have to be progressing. Because the last thing I will ever want to do is have to say to someone, we need to cut services because we're not investing enough in the community. And finally, and most importantly, I think for us in the dais, the fun part is the quality of life. That means so many things. It means the street index, as the mayor pointed out, second best in the county of Orange. It means new parks. Happily we'll see some new ones come down the line, not only west side, but east side, Shalimar, Kitchen-Leibel, Brentwood Park. But it also means being efficient for our residents and our businesses, making sure when we go to City Hall, they're getting quick support for the things they need. All these things and more, I look forward to doing for everyone, and thank everyone for this honor.
All right, thank you. All right, with that, we're adjourned. Thank you very much for sticking it out. Thank you.